Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Falcons Corner. Voice of the Falcons, Mike Rickert, stepping in for the good guy. He's big timing us.
Yeah.
Mr. Meetings.
Apparently too much going on for the good guy to know.
Yes.
You know? Too many people need to see the good guy to know.
Yes, but turn to Tom, SID, sitting in for too good for us guy, Danny Berg. How's that?
Listen, he's a man who's very busy right now.
Yes, of course. It's his busy time and golf tournaments coming up. So, you know, we'll excuse him. So let's talk. We always talk about our show. Let's talk about us first.
Let's do that. Yeah.
We'll open the show because I know everyone's been waiting just to know what happened last week during the Falcons Cup. Are you going to put highlights of the
I'm going to try to. Yeah, I'm going to put a couple.
All right, because we retained the Falcon Cup.
Look at this thing.
Isn't it beautiful? It's unbelievable.
You know,
we all drank out of it. No, we did not. But
even some of the sophomores were walking up to it and like looking at it.
I know.
They were impressed.
It's like the Stanley Cup. But we should actually, you shouldn't pick that up without white gloves.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Gloves. Yeah, it's just like the Stanley.
Also, I should hold it by the bottom.
Yes.
Probably, right?
But we paraded around the student union gym last Wednesday after victory. We all had our chance to walk around. It's like the Stanley Cup. 58-53 in double overtime.
Yes. And it was that it was a good thing it ended when it did.
Yes,
because
we were all running out of gas.
Everybody was running. Even the kids that play basketball were running out of gas.
We're running out of gas. But it was a fun game. I mean, double overtime victory, of course, we'll take it. Not to mention that they started the game with just 3 players and then ended up with 4. But by the end of the first half, there were 5 guys.
They got an assist from some of the spring football guys.
Yes, and stuff too. So, but hey, not our problem.
Not
our problem.
No.
So, I started off hot. Because I had legs. I could run 30 miles a day, but I can't play basketball for longer than 10 minutes.
When did you hit the wall, would you say, in that game?
I would say halfway through the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah, my legs were gone. Like, I had no legs left to shoot the jump shot. You saved your legs to the end because you made 2 big threes at the end.
I must have, yeah. I'll go with that. Because
you saved your legs.
I played pretty much, I think, the entire first half. And then I needed to miss. I missed a couple minutes in the second half because I needed a break. Yeah. But then I was ready to go.
I wasn't winded, of course, because I feel like I keep myself in good shape. But from here down, just the different types of movement other than just running straight. You know, so that's why I got my shots up early.
No, I mean, you led the team in scoring. What'd you have?
I had 21.
21 points. Yeah. You led the team in scoring. It was contributions from everybody, though. You know,
Eric, the big guy, our boss, showed a great mid-range game. Deadly from inside the paint, from that 15 feet in.
He's got a good, I don't want to call it an old man's game, but he's kind of got that wily, like he's got the ball, he's throwing these weird hook passes.
He wasn't afraid to push the big guys around either. We fouled. I pushed a little bit on some offensive rebounds. Nation, I would vouch for that. I pushed off a little. But that's what happens when you don't have officials. You know, you just get to call your own stuff.
But you got us going to get us started. You hit a couple big shots early. Dr. Lamagna and Dr. Larson, the doctors, were able to keep us kind of rolling through the middle of the game. Monica ran the point really well.
Right.
Monica Spence, shout out to her.
Yep.
Also had Carolyn DeMarco, who knocked down a shot, actually got some rebounds, was mixing it up down there. It got a big assist from Dane Lamas, who from the football staff, who gave us kind of an extra body to throw out there. And then I was able to hit a couple shots late to get us over the finish line.
Shout out to Coach Monica for wanting to try to coach us, but there's no coaching us because she was like, they're doing this and we should do this. And I just, no offense to Coach Monica, I was not having it.
I must have missed it.
It just went, I'm like, nope, I am going to get down the floor. I'm going to spot up and I'm going to shoot. That's it. But it was a lot of fun. So thanks to all our athletes that played and, the staff and stuff. I left some staff out that might have wanted to play, so I apologize. It was put together really fast. So I'll remember that for next year. We'll
That's the thing. I think we've got.
And I just wanted to, my initial thought was, those in the athletic department were around basketball and the guys all.
We bring it back. So. We bring it back from the dead. We get a couple guys involved and whatnot. Now next year, get some more staff. Yep. Maybe get some more sophomores into it. Maybe get a crowd there as well.
Right.
Have some real fun with it.
Well, Carolyn did offer her students in her class extra credit if they came and watched. And only like 4 dudes came, so which is just shocking because even if I have 100 in a class, someone's offering me extra credit, I'm taking it. Now, for easy as just going up and watching basketball for 40 minutes.
Now, I don't know if Nashawn made this up or if he has misheard TD Tom.
Okay.
But he was calling me TV Tom for a while.
TV
there.
Tom.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that could be another new nickname.
All right. Well, we'll keep that one in the back pocket. But we had fun. I think I've recovered, since then.
It took about 3 days for me to feel my ankles again, I would say.
Yes, but congratulations to us Falcons champ, retaining the Falcon Cup. We're undefeated Falcon Cup.
How about that? Four straight wins in the
Falcon Cup after a 2-year hiatus. We're back. So, all right. So enough about us. Let's get on. We'll quickly review everything because we don't want to make it a huge show. Baseball wrapped up the regular season. They lost their last 4 games that they've had since we talked. They split.
They split 2, and both losses came on walk-offs.
Right. A one-hit loss to Essex yesterday, down in Baltimore County. But finished region play with just 2 losses. So they're number 1 seed, and they'll be hosting Region 19 championships. We'll talk about that next week because that'll be here. So that could be the.
But a really successful season. Winning 32 games, most wins they've had since 2017 in a regular season, and most wins under Coach McCary that they've gotten in a regular season. So obviously, congrats to them. And then they earned that number 1 seed, 16-2 overall, as you mentioned, in the region.
So I wonder how I haven't talked to my son. I'm sure they wanted to win their games, but I don't know how extra motivated they were to.
I think keep it running. That's probably part of it. You always want to win, and I think probably some fatigue maybe started to set in too. They've played a lot of games in a lot of days. The last couple
and injuries
weeks.
Pile up, so they'll have a nice break.
That's the thing. They'll have some time off to heal up and kind of get themselves loose and ready to go. And hosting next week. We'll talk about that more next week, but looking forward to it.
Yep, good. And then softball is traveled to West Virginia this past weekend and lost 2-1 game was canceled. We don't have to worry about what the scores were or nothing, but they got out. They got to travel, spend a couple nights in a hotel.
Yeah, playing a ranked team on the road.
Right.
Tough. Yeah. And really the games, well, they matter to the overall record. They don't matter in terms of what softball still has an opportunity here to if they get 2 wins on the road at Salem. Game is now Friday after it's been postponed a couple times.
A bunch of times, yeah.
But you get those 2 wins if you can in the doubleheader at Salem on Friday, and the chips fall maybe where Del Tech, I think, still has to play Morris, and they win those 2 games. You might be able to leapfrog Morris, get into that 3 spot, and then avoid having to play the play-in game.
Right, and let's just worst case, best case for softball is they're the 4, and they have to have a home 4-5 matchup.
Yes,
so that would be nice. Just because we get to see the ladies at home.
Sure, get to see them one more time.
But best case, the 3 seed, and they'll travel to Del Tech and play in the Region 19 tournament down there.
Yeah, and I know Coach Pitt's probably telling his girls that too, is that even if the season maybe has kind of they lost 4 in a row, it's kind of gone a little more south than they want it to, they still have an opportunity to get into the playoffs, and then. They beat Delaware Tech already this year. You beat the top dog.
Anything happens when you get into postseason.
And I think they can hang with Mercer. They can hang with Morris.
Of course,
Region 19 is very competitive.
It's not like they're a bad team. I mean, they have substantial amount of victories on their schedule.
Their losses have been by fine margins.
Right.
And I think that they can turn that around.
Right. Yep.
So I think they've got the talent. It's just about putting it together, and it starts on Friday.
Good. So a lot of playoff action coming up, and we'll touch base with everyone about that on next week's show. If there is a plan for softball, is that going to be next Tuesday?
It's next Tuesday. I think the way it works right now is it would be next Tuesday, which is the 9th. Okay. And it would be home for us as the 4 seed. It'd be a doubleheader on that Tuesday. It's a best of 3.
Right.
So you play a doubleheader, and if it's 1-1 after that, you play a single game the next day.
Right. Okay. So, it's important that after Friday, we check social media, our website, if you're a softball fan, just to see out what's going on and where they're going to place. If they're playing Tuesday at home, you can get out and catch them. If not, take a drive to Delaware.
Yeah, which is most likely in that scenario. That's most likely
right. And I know Deltec streams their games. If not, worst case, watch that. You know, so we may not be able to preview a playoff softball game. We'll see. We'll see
what happens.
So you'll preview that on as your job requirement.
I'll have the full write-up on LackawannaFalcons.com for whatever comes our way.
And of course, we have to have an athlete of the week. And there was a little controversy because Josh nominated me, and I thought that was like brilliant. Except I don't think anyone else caught on that he was nominating me. I think they thought they were nominating my son. Because
I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, because
I thought it was obvious.
It was obvious because I saw my stat line. I had 21, 15 rebounds, and 3 assists. I had 10 assists because I had a triple-double. So it wasn't 21, 15, and 3. It was 21, 15, and 10.
Right.
But, you know, Eric mentioned something about how his father, me, if it was Michael, can't take away his vote. So I think everyone got confused because then Joe, you know.
Joe was adamant about his pick.
Right, but then he went back because he saw Mike and he's like, I can make a case for Mike, but I knew he wasn't referring to me, you know, so, you know, I want to thank Josh for nominating me.
Yes.
I was going to nominate myself anyway, you know, because I was outstanding there for a moment. I even played a little defense.
I know. I was surprised by that. You had a couple steals.
I did, and I was like the Russ Westbrook of like stat padding, you know. So that's what I was telling my boy. We'll get to our athlete in the week, but of course back to the Falcons. My son's put the over/under on my points scored at 4.5.
What?
I know. What's wrong with him? I hit that in the first 30 seconds.
Was that motivation?
And I can't believe Nashawn was not guarding me from like 25 feet out. I had to hit that 3 in his face. If you could put that second 3 up there.
Well, that's the thing. You hit a couple 3-point shots, and that kind of got them thinking, oh, wow, okay, he can shoot a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, like, it kind of came and went from there, and then you were able to get a couple of runners.
Well, I think it's important as us working, and I know we're all over the place right now, but we're back to the Falcon Cup. I think it's important of us that work in athletics that our athletes see that we're athletic.
Yes.
Like, I think it makes more sense of them. It's like, okay, he's telling me what to do in the weight room, or he's giving me advice, but can he do anything? Well, yeah.
They see that.
Like, you're reporting on sports, you're writing about it, but can you do anything? Yeah.
They
like
see that
athletics director. Does he have a mid-range game? Of course he has a mid-range.
They see that little sliver and like, okay, all right, yeah. Even if they're not athletic right now, they used to be athletic.
Yeah, like, Rickert, you got game. Like, I was like, well, yeah. Like, I'm not going to organize this and not be good. But our athlete of the week is
Matt McElligott,
yes.
Who pitched 2 great games of relief last week to help the Falcons get some wins. Was 2.2 innings of scoreless relief to get a win, and then did it again against Mercer, I believe it was too,
okay, yep.
And was able to give the Falcons a couple wins last week.
Right,
so.
And we're going to need those extra arms. I mean, our starters, you know, Kyle and Starn get, you know, a lot of the notoriety being our 1s and 2s, but when you get into postseason play, if we have to play that, you know, extra game or 2, if we were lucky enough to advance,
that's the thing.
You know, we need arms, so, you know, he'll be counted on.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to talk to him?
I don't know, because it was kind of a late decision.
Right.
Because the problem,
if you do,
because baseball was delayed until Monday.
Right.
And
everything's pushed back.
Tuesday.
Right.
So there was
if you do get a chance to talk to him, ask him about his red glove.
Okay.
Does he have a red glove because he's from Columbus and he's an Ohio State fan? That's all.
Like, is it an Ohio State thing?
Is it an Ohio State thing?
It can't be a Blue Jackets thing because it's a red thing, right? You know,
yeah.
You know. So we will get in touch with him at some point.
Okay. All right. Let's take a break and we'll come back and we'll wrap up the show. All right. We'll be back in the Falcons Corner. Take flight.
Each one of us has a dream. The challenge in today's world is how to achieve it. Now, more than ever, that's the case. Don't fall behind on your dreams or your college education. You can take your general education classes in English, math, and social science locally at Lackawanna College. Our credits transfer to most colleges so you won't fall behind. Call Lackawanna College today to find out how you can stay home, stay safe, and still pursue your college education. This is life-changing. This is Lackawanna College.
It's the 2023 Falcon Cup featuring the departing sophomores and the staff from Lackawanna College, and there's only 3 sophomores on the floor. No matter, we're going to get right into it, right away with the highlights. It starts with Nashawn Johnson taking the opening tap from Julian Wilson and fighting the big guy again to get things underway. But it would be the Mike Rickert show early from the top of the key. A 3, bang, right on top. Then Rickert would get another opportunity. This one off a pass from Eric Larson. Boom, right through the net, and the staff was soaring early. Then it was Monica Spence, head women's basketball coach, coast to coast off the glass and in. But The sophomores had a little firepower even with only 3 people. Nasir Brown, swish from the right corner. Tom Ferguson dishing off to Larson. The jumper from mid-range is up and good. Then it would be Julian Wilson taking the ball to the rack with a rack attack. Then Brown getting another opportunity. On a fast break, 2-hand slam, and the sophomores were in it. Then, nice bounce pass to Nashawn Johnson to tie things up at 12, about midway through the first half. Ferguson, little baby hook on the inside over Wilson is good. Then, he tries a 3-point shot, not there. Rebound to Larson, makes a nice little pass underneath to Dr. Lamagna, and Dan Lamagna's on the board. Julian Wilson on the fast break, cutting through defenders and slamming with a right hand to keep the sophomores within a point under 5 to go. Down the other end, Lamagna pass, nice little fake from Larson off the glass and good. Ferguson with the basketball again, leaves it for Larson. Jump shot from mid-range is up and good. The staff starting to feel it a little bit. Then Spence finds Rickert. Trees from the left corner, his third 3 of the first half. Breakaway for Brown, finds Johnson for the slam. Sophomores staying within 3 points. We move to the second half where it'd be Johnson bouncing back and Wilson slamming with a right hand to get things going in the second half. Long pass to Rickert on the left wing. He knocks down a 3-point shot, and the staff built a 3-point advantage, or 4-point advantage. Then Larson bounces underneath. DeMarco gets on the board for the staff. As you can see, a couple more players suddenly joining for the sophomores with some football recruits. Larson fast break underneath. Ferguson on the baseline is up and good. And the staff really starting to extend their lead up by 6. Rickert pass underneath. Finds DeMarco. No good on the shot. Lamagna the rebound up and good. An 8-point advantage for the staff. But score starts to tighten a little bit. Larson tries to lengthen it back out with a jumper to put the staff up by 7. Staff by 5 as DeMarco misses a layup. Rebound Lamagna. Back up by 7. Then it would be Rickert, a ball fake, and a runner on the left side, giving the staff a 6-point advantage with under 4 to play. Ferguson pass into the corner. Dane Lamas from the football staff hits a big 3-point shot to put the staff up 5. Nashawn Johnson a 3. That one is good. And then Rickert missing free throws when it matters most gives the sophomores an opportunity to get down the floor quickly. A shot to tie is up and good from Nasir Brown. Time winding down. Ferguson in trouble in the corner, able to find Lamagna. Rickert has an opportunity, but he's off. And we go to an extra period as Johnson can't get the shot off before the horn. So, first overtime. Ferguson, cross-court pass underneath to Lamagna, up and good. The staff able to tie the game at 47. Wilson, coast to coast, gets by with a little finger roll, and the sophomores have a brief lead. Rickert on the other end, into the corner, blocked by Wilson, but the officials call a foul. Clank. Let's try it again. Clank. Ugh. One more should do the trick. Rickert goes 1 of 3 from the free throw line. Sophomores trailing late after this. A shot from DeMarco, no good. Rickert tips it back up and in with 15 seconds to play to give a 2-point advantage for the staff. Wilson hits a big 2-point shot just before the horn to send the game to a second overtime. From there, Falcons try to execute, the staff tries to execute the offensive line play. Doesn't quite work out. Nashawn Johnson gets things started with a slam on one end to give the sophomores a brief advantage. Ferguson tries a 3 in the left corner. That one's long. Rickert able to grab the rebound, put it back up and in. Staff by 1 point at 52-51. Saved by Larson to Ferguson. Trees from the left corner. It's up and good. 55-51. Let's try it again here after a big defensive stop. Spence to Rickert, Rickert to Ferguson. Banks are open on Wednesdays, and it's 58-51, and it would end 58-53. The staff knocks off the sophomores for the 4th straight Falcon Cup, and it remains in the hands of the Lackawanna College athletic staff.
Going to college is a lot more than just about getting an education. It's a life experience.
It's personal growth.
Connections that last a lifetime.
It's memories that are everlasting and experiences that you could have never imagined. It's an education that will change your life forever.
This is life-changing. This is Lackawanna College.
We are back on the Falcons Corner. Voice of the Falcons, Mike Rickert, sitting in for Too Good for Us guy, Tom Ferguson.
The good guy, the way too good guy to know.
Yes, the way too good guy to know. But he'll be back next week.
Yes.
He sent a tearing emoji when he said he couldn't make it.
When we had discussions and when we were going to film and everything, and Danny was kind of just making sure that we knew he was way too busy to film. It was like, there goes the streak.
Yep,
you know,
it's over.
What was it, 3 in a row?
Yeah, he jinxed it. I think we should suspend him for that. We'll have to talk about that in our staff meeting coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if anyone wants to come by the Student Union, touch the Falcon Cup, we'll be here with it.
Is this going back to your den, or are we displaying this somewhere?
It's usually displayed in my office, but we could keep it out if we have to. I'm afraid it's going to get stolen.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Because it's so, I can't have armed security.
It's so iconic.
If we could call public safety and have, an armed public safety officer guard it, at least during, business hours, then we'll leave it out.
It needs to be like what they do in, the Louvre or something, where, they've got it, separated by, 6 feet. And it's behind glass.
Right. I know we have some glass cases and stuff. There's some right to our right.
No one can touch it.
Yeah, but we'll see. But probably going to just go back to my office.
Yes.
But if anyone wants to see it or touch it or get their picture taken with it, just come by my office.
Just ask.
It's there. It's on the top shelf. So let's wrap up the show talking spring football. They participate in their spring game this Saturday at 2 o'clock. That'll be live streamed on LackawannaFalcons.com/live.
Mm-hmm.
You will be on the field doing some interesting stuff. We're going to try to get you to do some interviews on the field and stuff.
We tested the equipment yesterday. It worked.
Good.
Hopefully, I know we have a couple of them coming back for the game.
Right.
We'll also be able to Coach Duda seems kind of okay with being interviewed, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I was breaking him in the weight room, saying, we're thinking about this. He thought it was a great idea. Josh and I are going to be on the call somewhat. We're not going to know who's in what uniform. We're not going to have anything, but we're going to talk a lot about football and all of our other sports and stuff that we have going on at the school, just to keep people informed. So it's supposed to be a beautiful day,
which is good because last year was rainy and cloudy and kind of miserable. So hopefully we get a good day out of it.
And then to start the festivities, though, there we are airing the Chris Hughes joint of They Sleep on Us, a recap of the 2019 season, the documentary. Speaking of the 2019 season, congratulations to our very own Jair Tig Brown, who was drafted in the 3rd round by the San Francisco 49ers, probably make an impact right away. And also from that 2019 is Keyshawn Moore, who signed an undrafted free agent with the Colts.
Right.
And Nugget, Dejan Warren. And Nugget actually reached out to me yesterday. I was psyched to hear from him and made my day. So he needed some advice on some things, and I have to send him a couple of things to help him out as he gets ready, because he's signed undrafted free agent with the Bears.
Right. Joining Jaquan Brisker.
Yep. So hopefully, Keyshawn and Nug can catch on with those teams. I think they can. I always loved Keyshawn. Strong dude, played really hard, moved to the defensive line, when he went to Hampton, and Nug was the #1 recruit coming out of junior college, and COVID messed up his second year here, but went to Jackson State and played with Prime.
Got an opportunity to play there, and they're kids that work hard.
And I do want to say, because I'm trying to work on that Prime Colorado connection with myself, that Nug in his mention said, "Coach, you can call me anytime. We're like family," which I thought was very nice. I was like, "Why don't you call Prime for me?" we're fam, bud. Call Prime for me.
Okay.
But that 2019 documentary is awesome, so I may stop in and just see who's there and watch a little bit and make a whole day out of it.
Yeah, at 10 a.m. the People's Security Bank Theater on Saturday. It's really.
Do you have to RSVP? Can you just come in?
I think you can just show up and be a part of it. It's a really cool documentary, and I know even some of the football staff that were involved with the game, that maybe that was a tough watch for them.
Right.
Still loved it,
yeah,
and still loved seeing all the old players and kind of seeing it play out again. While I'm sure it brought back some bad memories,
right? Some bad calls.
It was also cool. It was also kind of cool for them to see it play out like that. It was really well done.
Yep, and then more importantly, 2 o'clock kickoff. So if you could come down to the stadium, to watch the game, if not catch it, on LackawannaFalcons.com/live.
That'll be there.
It's fantastic. It's going to be a great day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good.
Looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
the guys have worked hard, so we'll see some returning guys that are going to be here in the fall, some guys that we hope will be back in the fall, and some guys that may be like teetering. I'm going to make the team. I might not make the team. I really have to play well, but all the guys that are here can really play football and make a difference, if not here somewhere.
Yeah, and hopefully, I'm sure there'll be some college coaches there as well, kind of getting an idea about some of the guys maybe they're not sure about, or they want to get a better idea for. So hopefully we get
because I know we had some Power 5 schools, out of practices, the last couple of weeks and stuff.
Yeah.
But the guys have worked hard, since they've been on campus for the spring semesters. It's just the way
it's a nice way to end it, a nice culmination of everything,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. All right, good. And just for those that are watching, especially like my parents, I'm still alive, obviously, because I'm here. I know, like, as every day goes on, like, our time on this planet gets a little bit limited, but I'm enthusiastic about life, Tom. I'm not looking to go.
I was really hoping we could end the second show in a row talking about life. And
yes, well, we did a little bit.
Have that existential crisis again.
Yes, I'm not going to put the sad acting, like, that was a good little thing I did. But I'm happy to walk the earth as long as I can. Is that good? Is that a good way?
I'm glad to hear that.
Does that leave it on a happy note?
That's
and then a good shout out. Andrew Vines' dad, former Falcon football player who will be graduating next week.
Big fan of Falcons Corner.
Yep. Is he going to be one up by Emily Dickinson's dad? Because Emily told me that he was so psyched that we talked about him on the show last week. That now it's 2 weeks in a row.
He is
does
very
Andrew
active.
Vines' dad still watch non-football season? Does Emily Dickinson's dad watch when it's not softball season? These are the questions we need to know.
I will say that I feel like Emily Dickinson's dad may be a little more active, only because I see his name pop up a lot on our Facebook page when we're sharing stuff. And it's not always softball related too.
Right.
Anything that's there.
I'm sure Emily's dad is a big fan of me, even though we haven't that formally met. I know Andrew Vines' dad is a huge fan of mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So always makes a point to shout out to me when we see him at football games and stuff too. So it's a toss up.
We got it. Yeah.
And one lives in like North Carolina, the other one lives in Oregon. So it's not like we could just walk down the street and ask them.
And then let's not forget Ryan, our other big
Ryan
number one fan.
Yep.
Trainer
Ryan.
here.
Yes, and stuff too. So yeah. But the Falcons Corner is huge in the athletic training.
Yes, yeah.
Huge.
Appointment listening.
Yeah, great show. All right, we'll be back next week, but only a couple shows left.
Right, yeah.
All right.
Let's go. Let's do it.
You'll be back, because Danny's. We'll be back next week on the Falcons Corner. Have a great week, everyone. Take flight.